Assembly members' envy-inducing weekend of partying and attending premier events is raising eyebrows. Assemblyman Matt Haney, who represents District 17, including the eastern side of San Francisco, had one heck of a weekend in late January. And our media partner, the San Francisco Standard, started asking questions, and they have this new article detailing what they found. And when I say they, I actually mean he, and that being Josh Kane, senior politics reporter for the Standard, who joins us in the studio today. Hi, Josh. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Kristen. Thanks for having me.
So what's this weekend in question, and what exciting, expensive things happened?
Okay, so let me lay it out. In late January, Assemblymember Matt Haney had a big weekend in which he went to a Lakers-Warriors game. It was a double overtime game with LeBron and Steph dueling it out. He also had a party at a rooftop bar in Mission Bay. Then, next morning, his campaign picked up a bunch of liquor from Tenderloin Liquor, went down to a 49ers playoff game against the Detroit Lions to see who would go to the Super Bowl, had a big tailgate party, and then there was some Uber charges, make sure they're doing it responsible, but essentially thousands and thousands of dollars on one weekend for tickets to sporting events, which was part of a much larger pattern in his campaign spending.
Okay, before we get into that pattern, just how did you find out about all this? Like, are you on the circuit like, hey, Josh, come party with us? Or were you just scrolling social media or what?
I do not get invites to these games. No, I'm not part of the crew. I'm a campaign finance nerd, and I just stumbled upon one charge looking for something completely different. And then it turns out there were more than a dozen charges for 49ers tickets. Dig a little deeper, there's also Giants tickets, Warriors tickets, Broadway shows. And Matt Haney has said that these are fundraisers. However, he declined to refuse any of the people who attended. He declined to say how much money was raised.
Yeah.
We couldn't find the price that he was supposedly charging to match up with contributions in cases.
Okay, so if they are fundraisers, if they were, then can you spend campaign money on it, campaign funds? Is that legal?
State law requires it to fit in a few different boxes. One of them would be political, which means fundraising. So if you are raising funds and it is a true fundraiser, you can spend campaign money for sporting event tickets. However, again, questions because Matt Haney was posting pictures on Instagram of his family and his best friends. He went back after being contacted for the story and edited the Instagram post featuring his friends. We were a little uncertain about that.
Right.
And it's not just these events, though. I mean, when you look at just the spending on drinks and food and then other perks, which we could probably go into, 5-star hotels, exclusive memberships to the Battery, which is just around the corner from here.
Oh.
That's where his campaign office is.
Right. The
It's
one
pretty
where
nice.
I want to look through the window but can't even because there are no windows.
Yeah,
It's very
you and
kind
me
of
both.
secretive
You and me both.
exclusive. Yeah, so have you added up the math and seen how much he's spent over the past year or two? Or?
Yeah, since the beginning of 2023, $75,000 on sporting event tickets, almost $5,000 in Broadway shows, $7,000 plus on his membership to the exclusive social club. The drinks, I don't have that number off the top of my head, but.
And this is all campaign funds, right? So what did his political consultant say, or did they justify it or explain it?
They say that these fundraisers are no different than a big dinner or a party in which you get donations. However, we've spent a fair amount of time calling up individual contributors to the campaign, and we have not actually reached one yet that has been at one of these sporting events that would have been donating around that time.
I see. And how did they categorize this with the Secretary of State, which they have to, right?
Yeah, the Secretary of State would put this in a box of just saying it is a fundraising expense. And that's how it's been reported. That is how Haney's campaign said, you know what, we have reported everything. We're not going to tell you who was there and how much they gave. You know, there is an option for the Fair Political Practices Commission, the state political watchdog, to ask for receipts, to ask for this kind of information if they were to investigate.
Okay. By the way, I mean, does this happen with politicians? You know, fundraisers at restaurants, bars, you know, sports venues?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is not unheard of, as one campaign expert told us. However, Ann Ravel, the former chair of the Federal Elections Commission, said that she thought this was excessive. And also another campaign expert said you know, they know of sporting events being fundraisers, but not to this level and not to that largesse of a charge.
So your investigations have led to, you know, official investigations before. Do you know if anything's happening with this?
I don't know if anything's happening yet. The FPPC declined to comment for the story. They just referred us to the rules. However, as you may have seen, the social media outpouring of responses was pretty vitriolic. I think a lot of people feel like Matt Haney has been living a lifestyle that maybe doesn't mix with his kind of stated humble renter reputation. You know, this is someone who's been living large, who posts photos of hanging out with the Kardashians on Instagram. So there's some real questions about whether or not he's using his campaign to have quite a bit of an affluent lifestyle.
And we have about 10 seconds, but he is up for re-election in November, right?
That is correct.
Tough race?
No, probably not. He has one Republican opponent, and he does run in San Francisco.
It is San Francisco. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. And you can check out more of Josh's story and, of course, more of the San Francisco Standard's other original reporting on their website, sfstandard.com. And ABC7 will continue to bring you more segments featuring the Standard's city-focused journalism twice a week right here on Getting Answers at 3.